Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Elder Scrolls Library. My name is Aurelius, your lore master, and today we are reading and discussing Gods and Worship. The book Gods and Worship appears in 4 of the Elder Scrolls games: Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and Elder Scrolls Online. The book discusses the influence that the gods play in everyday life, as well as the role that worship has on those gods. Let's get into Gods and Worship. An Overview of Gods and Worship in Tamriel by Brother Hetchfield. Editor's Note: Brother Hetchfield is an associate scribe at the Imperial University, Office of Introductory Studies. Gods are commonly judged upon the evidence of their interests in worldly matters. A central belief in the active participation of deities in mundane matters can be challenged by the reference to apparent apathy and indifference on the part of gods during times of plague or famine. From intervention in legendary quests to manifestations in common daily life, no pattern for the gods of Tamriel activities is readily perceived. The concerns of gods in many ways may seem unrelated or at best unconcerned with the daily trials of the mortal realm. The exceptions do exist, however. Many historical records and legends point to the direct intervention of one or more gods at times of great need. Many heroic tales recount blessings of the divinity bestowed upon heroic figures who worked or quested for the good of a deity or the deity's temple. Some of the more powerful artifacts in the known world were originally bestowed upon their owners through such reward. It has also been reported that priests of high ranking in their temples may, on occasion, call upon their deity for blessings or help in time of need. The exact nature of such contact and the blessings bestowed is given to much speculation, as the temples hold such associations secret and holy. This direct contact gives weight to the belief that the gods are aware of the mortal realm. In many circumstances, however, these same gods will do nothing in the face of suffering and death, seeming to feel no need to interfere. It is thus possible to conclude that we, as mortals, may not be capable of understanding more than a small fraction of the reasoning and logic such beings use. One defining characteristic of all gods and goddesses is their interest in worship and deeds. Deeds in the form of holy quests are just one of the many things that bring the attention of a deity. Deeds in everyday life, by conforming to the statutes and obligations of individual temples, are commonly supposed to please a deity. Performance of ceremony in a temple may also bring a deity's attention. Ceremonies vary according to the individual deity. The results are not always apparent, but sacrifice and offerings are usually required to have any hope of gaining a deity's attention. While direct intervention in daily temple life has been recorded, the exact nature of the presence of a god in daily mundane life is a subject of controversy. A traditional saying of the Wood Elves is that one man's miracle is another man's accident. While some gods are believed to take an active part of daily life, others are well known for their lack of interest in temporal affairs. It has been theorized that gods do in fact gain strength from such things as worship through praise, sacrifice, and deed. It may even be theorized that the number of worshippers a given deity has may reflect on his overall position among the other gods. This my own conjecture, garnered from the apparent ability of the larger temples to attain blessings and assistance from their god with greater ease than smaller religious institutions. There are reports of the existence of spirits in our world that have the same capacity to use the actions and deeds of mortals to strengthen themselves as to the gods. The understanding of the exact nature of such creatures would allow us to understand with more clarity the connection between a deity and the deity's worshippers. The implication of the existence of such spirits leads to the speculation that these spirits may even be capable of raising themselves to the level of a god or goddess. Motasol, of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods and goddesses who through time lost all or most of their following, reverting to their earliest, most basic form. Practitioners of the old ways say that there are no gods, just greater and lesser spirits. Perhaps it is possible for all three theories to be true. Criticism. Criticism and speculation is where this book begins, asking the question of whether or not the gods actually care about people. Are the gods active in your day-to-day life, or are they so removed that even plagues and famine aren't enough to get their attention? The book correctly points out that there is no pattern by which all gods act. Some seem to be more attentive than others. The book cites legends and ancient tales of heroes who were chosen and blessed by certain gods, claiming that the devotion of the heroes to their specific god, usually through the completion of a quest, was a deciding factor in the god choosing to help. This help may be blessing their person specifically, or blessing an item given to them. Many of the most powerful items in the world today were originally given by a god to such a hero. It is speculated that the high priests of the temple may call upon their deity for blessings or help in a time of need. But these happenings are often not well known due to the secrecy of the temples. It is also not guaranteed that the god of the temple will help at all, leading the author to conclude that perhaps we are incapable of understanding but a fraction of the reason and logic used by a god. Despite all this, and the differences between the involvement of different gods, all gods share an interest in worship and deeds. Daily deeds, deeds done in the temple, special deeds, all done in an effort to gain a deity's attention and hopefully their favor. One very interesting theory that this book posits is the idea that worship causes a god to become more powerful. Worship, praise, deeds, the number of worshippers, all could have a role in the status of that god in comparison to the other gods. Essentially, the more worshippers and deeds done on your behalf, the more powerful you become as a god. I believe this isn't the only book that puts forth this idea, and it has some pretty massive implications. If you're a well-known god, you have the benefit of being more powerful and able to interact and do more for your followers. Maybe. If you are a lesser-known god, or people just don't care about you or worship you as much, this quite literally could prevent you from having the capability to help even if you wanted to. This idea can go even further, to the point where it's not just having more worshippers making you more powerful, but who the worshippers see you as potentially changing actual aspects of who you are. For example, let's take Auriel, the god of time. He was originally known and worshipped as a bow-wielding Aldmer. Auriel's bow, anyone? You know, the weapon said to have shot the heart of Lorkhan into the sea. But he's not known as Auriel anymore. He's Akatosh, the dragon god of time. You may think different, but dragons are pretty different than Aldmer in my opinion. This theoretical concludes with the Aldmer god Auriel actually becoming the dragon god Akatosh, a change that happened to his being because that's what those who were worshipping him saw him as, a dragon. It's an interesting thought and actually has quite a bit of credence when paired with the different dragon breaks that have happened, but that's a discussion for another time. The book continues on stating that spirits have been reported that have the same capacity to use the deeds and the praise of mortals to strengthen oneself. The conclusion here is, of course, that given enough praise and deeds, these spirits could rise to godhood. A member of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods who have lost all their followers, leaving them to revert to a more basic form of existence. Then, of course, there are those who practice the old way, a view which says there are no gods, only greater and lesser spirits. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you think about this book in the comments below. And may the blessings of the 8 Divines be upon you.